I'm joined today by Mr. Sharmlin Moodley, who is a partner in the digital consulting area of KPMG South Africa, and guys that also specialize in the technology field, the Metaverse, and all these advancements that are going on in the world around us currently. And I'm hoping Sharmlin will share some of his experience in that field with us throughout the course of the session. Hi there, Sharmlin.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for the opportunity.
A lot of companies are starting to build spaces in the Metaverse, and it's not something that sits in the distant future. It is absolutely part of the here and now. Many companies, and I know, for example, Microsoft have gone and built their head office in the Metaverse. So people go into a virtual office and they sit across from one another in an avatar format. And in the same vein, many other companies are also looking at exploring this environment. And I'd like to get your opinion on, what's happening. What do you guys see in the world? What is the Metaverse, maybe as an introduction, and just give us a bit of an idea of where things are going.
Yeah, Chris, perhaps for anyone that's had a desire to be inside the matrix, one could see it in that way. It's a parallel world. It's a digital world. It's a world without limitations enforced by our physical world. And essentially, it's virtual reality meets augmented reality, meets digital experiences, and allows us to be who we want, where we want, and to choose the experiences that we have within a digital world. And part of that is, thinking about where our kids are now, what are their experiences? They are growing up in a digital world, very much different to what we grew up with. And it's predicted that, in the near future, they're going to be spending at least 1 hour of their time in the Metaverse. And, considering that is their experience and where they will be shopping, where they will be playing, where they will be interacting with organizations, products, and services, the relevancy of it is understanding how each organization in the here and now thinks about how they're going to transform their services to meet this different generation where they are, and that's in the digital world.
Absolutely right. You're talking about the youngsters, and I see them playing perhaps a lot more time on this thing. I have a son in matric, and he tends to spend a lot of time playing with his mates on Minecraft online, and they're chasing each other around. So absolutely, that's where they hang out, and I think that's the mind shift that we have to make. And that's talking about the youngsters. Talking about the millennials, they also grew up in this area, and if you look at the composition of the workforce, I'm not sure whether I got the stat, but I think it's about 70% of the present workforce are millennials. So it's a world that they're comfortable in, and it's a world that's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they are 100% comfortable in playing in this environment. Doing anything in this environment, socializing, working, and all of that. So it's an absolutely fascinating development, and it's something that I think we have to perhaps pivot to. I'm talking from my perspective as a bit of an older generation. I think you're slightly younger than I am. But it's something that we have to get used to and adapt to. So yeah, very interesting times. Sharmlin, give us a bit of a history lesson just in terms of the internet and how it's developed over the years, because there's various versions. It started out very rudimentary, and now we're sitting in this kind of environment where we're talking metaverses and all kinds of stuff. Just give us a bit of a progression on what's happened from then to now.
Yeah, Chris, obviously a much longer discussion. The world of digital has progressed immensely and across various dimensions, but perhaps at a high level in terms of the Metaverse and where we are now. I guess you can't talk about it without talking about Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. And for the non-technical people there, you're probably going to be hearing about Web 3 in conversations in the near future, and it's worth knowing about it. And that evolution is essentially, Web 1 was the first version of the internet, static content, more content sharing in one way. And a user could not interface or interact with that site. It was more content share. Web 2 brought on social media and interaction, and it was, call it read, write. So the ability to engage with that website in a two-way manner. And Web3 essentially is yes, read and write, but also own being giving the power of experience and what you want to do on the digital platforms, giving the power of that to the end user. And that's at a high level how I would describe Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3.
Right. Okay. Sharmlin, so give us a couple of examples. I mean, there's different experiences. I think there's different industries using different applications probably going forward. There's different individual experiences. What are the sort of things that you guys see panning out in the kind of metaverse environment going forward?
Yeah, Chris, given what we said, that there's no boundaries based on a physical world. The opportunities are endless, right? But the use cases that we're seeing are twofold. One that impacts on the industry specifically. So whether it's insurance, banking, mining, whatever, there's use cases that are specific to those industries, but there's also use cases that cut across based on business capabilities, HR, marketing, sales, and within the organizations that your viewers are operating in, take HR, take an onboarding experience. That could be taken through an individual walking through a digital twin of your building and understanding where it is that they're going to be working, meeting some of their colleagues online, understanding what are the products and services offering, but doing it within your office in a virtual world. Think about learning and development and upskilling people. These opportunities exist to be more immersive in a classroom and bring in a different take to education, awareness, and even selling your products or creating awareness around an insurance product, an investment product, and giving the power to your customers to do it in their own time, in their own space, and in the, order that they want to, or preference that they want to. But beyond, the actual metaverse use cases, Chris, my mind goes to your audience and how the metaverse might impact on them. Maybe they wouldn't be in the metaverse themselves, but if you consider insurance, asset management, pension funds, I believe that the metaverse is going to impact them in some shape or form. Digital assets are gaining in value, and these assets need to be insured. Insurance companies need to have the right, models to be able to put a risk profile to these digital assets, to be able to insure them, and understand how the volatility and risk profile of those digital assets changes. In terms of asset management and where companies are investing and where money is moving towards, who are the movers and shakers that are impacting on the metaverse? Who's creating security? Who's creating experiences? Who's creating virtual reality, physical peripherals? And these companies are going to be the ones which are going to win into the future, and that are going to be very relevant. So it's going to be great to track them and understand how they are investing in themselves and how others are investing to capitalize on their growth. The metaverse itself is estimated to be close to $1 trillion in a couple of years' time, and I think the prediction was around 2028. And that's not far away in the context of being able to understand how does your asset management insurance models change in order to be ready by that time to capitalize on all of the investments that are going into the metaverse. And obviously, how do you start tracking the risk profile and creating insurance products that which is in a digital world?
Your advice to a company, today, as far as the future is concerned, would be what?
I would say consider who your customer is and what is the experience that you want to enable. And ultimately, my guidance is it's going to be in a digital world, and organizations can't do that alone. They need to partner with an ecosystem of players that enable digital experiences, technology, security, assurance, transformation, risk management, etc. And I think organizations need to start thinking about that now, but starting to think about it in a bigger picture around a vision of where their customers are going to be, who is that customer, and how do we engage with them.
Sharmlin, very exciting stuff. And so give us a bit of a future vision. Where do you see all of this going, going forward from a technology perspective, metaverse, microverse, all these things? Give us your view. What do you see?
Yeah, Chris, obviously it's something that's in the future, but it's here and now in terms of organizations being prepared, creating those business cases, creating the vision to be a player in the metaverse into the future. And it's broader than technology, right? Technology is an enabler, but it starts with the business vision. It starts with having the right business processes and practices that go along with it. It's about having the right skills and investing in those skills now. And large organizations like Facebook, who've actually renamed themselves to Meta, Microsoft, and others would not be investing significant amounts of money in this if they didn't see the future vision themselves. And as part of that, it's crucial for organizations to create that clear vision now, to start having conversations about it and understanding what does it mean for your company at this point, and how do we be prepared to meet the future now. And I mentioned it earlier, it's about not necessarily doing this on your own. It's about how you partner with the right ecosystem, with the right players, technology and business players, that's going to help you meet your customers where they are, which is going to be in the metaverse.
Understand. Yeah, I think case in point is companies have to move to where their customers are, and where their customers are going to be. And these youngsters are there already. So I think we've got to click our heels and catch up. Is perhaps not bad advice. Sharmlin, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and expertise. Look forward to chatting to you guys a lot more in the future. And thanks for your participation.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the opportunity and great conversation.